I'd like to welcome you to today's presentation for our latest portfolio for NASPA Value Point. It's Public Safety Video Systems. This is a new portfolio for NASPA Value Point that we're really excited about because it brings public safety video, both dash cameras and body cameras, and the back-end video systems available to public agencies out there, primarily for law enforcement, but we also see fire departments and other public agencies utilizing this contract as well. On the phone with us today is Lisa Bradley from the state of Oklahoma. She is the lead state contract administrator for this portfolio, and she works for the state of Oklahoma Central Purchasing Division, and she was the primary point of contact and the lead for this portfolio. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Lisa to today's presentation. So Lisa, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you, Tim. And first off, I do want to thank Tim Hay. He gave us a lot of support. This was a very long project, a lot of research and time. Tim was excellent in staying patient, keeping us on track, and keeping us all scheduled. So thank you very much, Tim. All of your help was very much appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. There. Now I got the screen going. First off, I wanted to introduce our sourcing team. We had John from Idaho, Joshua from Louisiana. From Nevada, we had Chris and Harold. From Utah, we had Chris. From Vermont, we had Stephen. And from Oklahoma, we had A.K. Williams and Ronnie Hampton. I do want to point out that the state of Nevada and Oklahoma, all 4 members of the sourcing team were actual state troopers. They gave us a lot of expert opinion. They had knowledge of driving with the vehicles. They had knowledge of heat, sound, wind speed, a lot of very valuable information. So that was very much appreciated. I'll go with our purpose. Of course, our main purpose was to purchase body cameras, new in-car dash cameras, and the back-end office and storage solution. We originally were just looking to award by the band, where we could qualify one vendor just that sold body cameras or one that just sold dash cams. But as it turned out, they all qualified and were awarded in all 3 categories. So any supplier that has received a master agreement can offer you a full turnkey solution. The only category that has to be included is the storage. We did write in language in the RFP that if they were to supply computer equipment, they also had to supply a camera, whether it be body worn or in-car. We also have the CGJIS cloud storage facilities. This is a high-level government secured cloud. We'll get into a little more detail about that later in the slide. The benefits of our agreements. Number 1, we hope to achieve more favorable pricing as going in as a group instead of us all going out one at a time and doing bits and pieces. We hope to kind of come in as a united front to the suppliers. It's also beneficial to the suppliers because they are not spending a lot of their administrative time submitting new proposals. Our quoted prices are guaranteed for the initial period of the master agreement, which is 2 years. We have complex contract terms and conditions have already been negotiated. And as I mentioned earlier, all awarded companies have provided service level agreements for the data storage solutions and CJIS certification. When we were beginning with this RFP, we were looking at trying to make everybody happy. We have huge, big cities, and we have rural county sheriff's departments. So we were looking at having the option and offered the suppliers the opportunity to give us good, better, and best. I know some people have huge budgets to expend, and some are very small. So we did consider that. And we wanted a one-stop solution, which we did achieve, and that should make it easier. Our scope of services, we had the 3 bands I mentioned. I call them bands in the RFP. There's a band 1, it's for the body. Band 2 is for vehicle. And band 3 is for the video storage, security, software. We originally had a band 4, which was for vehicle mounted equipment. We got a pretty good response, but unfortunately, most of the responses did not have all of our mandatory requirements up front. So the team took a step back, and we do realize that it might be possibly a better category for a different portfolio or to bid out on its own. They are a little bit of different of the actual supply. Here is our RFP timeline. We first put this out as an advertised RFP on April 20th, 2016. We did a pre-proposal webinar in May. Our questions were due in May also. And our RFP did close on July 11th. Our evaluation period, the team came to Oklahoma City, and they had a lot of reading material. We evaluated August 8th through the 12th. We sent out our initial intent to award on September the 1st. And we have our final negotiated master agreement in July of 2017. So you can see we had a long span of the negotiation process. Originally, we received 28 proposals. 14 of those were for the Band 4, which was not awarded. The other 14 were for Bands 1 through 3 that we have now. Our evaluations were references, administrative narrative, value-added items, technical requirements, business response, and cost. The RFP allowed for multiple awards based on the highest scoring proposal in each band. Our evaluation phase was basic. We have a phase 1 that we went through and checked for pass-fail on mandatory requirements. Phase 2, the administrative and technical proposals. And phase 3 was cost. Our total evaluation criteria was 2,500 points. As you can see, I have put the points out here. The technical response, we decided to grade that per band and not as an overall. So each band was evaluated separately, but totaled towards the end. Our original contract term, the first master agreement was posted February 1, 2017, and we will go through January 3rd, 2019. There are 3 renewals available in an annual basis, and in line with NASPO's general policy, we are capped at the 5-year contract term. So we are now good till January 31 of 2022. A total of 8 master agreements were awarded. And mentioned earlier, each supplier can provide solutions for 1, 2, and 3 bands. Number 1 supplier is Applied Concepts, also known as Stalker. They've been in business 39 years, have 152 employees. They offer the CopTrax as their solution. And they also offer the Microsoft Azure Cloud service. Vendor number 2 was Taser International. As we went through the process and right up into shortly after award, Taser International was Taser. On April 5th, Taser changed their name to Axon. They did this mainly to brand out their video section. The Taser weapons are still apart, and they will remain that brand. So this is basically, it is the same company, but they have renamed to Axon. Third, we have Koban Technologies. They've been in business 14 years, have 80 employees. They offer edge products. Geotech has been in business 22 years. They have 78 employees, and they are offering Veritas video solutions. Federal Signal has been in business a total of 115 years, and they have approximately 2,700 employees. They were founded in 1901, and they are pretty active in some of our other portfolios also, as is Panasonic. They've been in business 57 years with 534 employees. And their product line for this offering is the Arbitrator. Our final 2 would be Utility Associates. They've been in business 15 years with 60 employees. And WatchGuard, they've been in business 14 years with 228 employees. We realized as we were going to market that this is a pretty new band of technology, and we didn't have major requirements on exact how long they had produced this product in particular. It did take us quite a while. We were trying to bridge all of our requirements and specifications with the new grant money that President Obama released. So we were in touch with GSA and also the Department of Justice in going with some of our specs. Here's our final evaluation scores. I'll give you a second to preview that. I won't read them to you. Here's a slide with the master agreement number, the contractor, the contact information, their phone number, and their website. Our cloud hosting providers are listed for your convenience by supplier and the company that they do use for their CJIS compliance. This was a major requirement. This is secured data. So the FBI has set standards on law enforcement and Department of Justice evidence and security data. So everyone is certified in that aspect. We have 2 suppliers that only supply local hosting, which means you would house the hardware in your facility. And that would be Koban Technologies and WatchGuard. Again, even though we offer a turnkey solution, you do not have to utilize all 3 bands. You can just buy video, or you can buy the turnkey. Some items up for consideration. We realize that every individual state has their own special information technology requirements, but we did try to provide a base service level agreement. What this included was, as you can see, the service commitment, maintenance, after-hours emergency support, and the response times, and also system backup. I want to remind everybody to make sure that their individual states' IT department has all of their requirements so that you can have a smooth transition upon implementation. Technology changes as this contract is involved. We have allowed for the suppliers to add new products, new maintenance, new upgrades. We realize that products are being updated constantly as we were writing the RFP, and it continues to do so. So we are allowing this contract to grow with new technology. We also want to remind that we do not try in any way to get into policy and implementation plans. This is just for the product. We hope that we can make the purchase of the product easier so you can focus your agency's attention for the policy and implementation plans. And that would be it. I have listed my contact information here. Please feel free to contact me anytime. That I enjoy talking to everybody, and hopefully I can help. I'm going to turn it back over to Tim now. Do you have a question, Tim?
No, I don't have a question, but thank you, Lisa, for your great presentation. And I'm going to just quickly talk about the participating addendum process. So we do have these contracts available for all the 50 states to use, as well as the political subdivisions. The 50 states and the District of Columbia have a memorandum of agreement with NASPO that allows them to use any of our cooperative contract offerings. We have roughly 60 different portfolios right now, and all of those portfolios are available for public agency use through this memorandum of agreement. Through the participating addendum process, states and entities may select which contractors they'd like to use, select their own state administrative fees to include in that participating addendum. They can include any required unique terms and conditions. We have the base terms and conditions outlined in the master agreement, along with some service level agreement language that Lisa described earlier. But if states have any unique T's and C's that's applicable to their state only, they can certainly include those in the participating addendum. They would also identify options for their political subdivisions or their state agencies in those PAs, and also if they have any state-specific reporting requirements or other requirements that they have upon the contractors, that's where they would outline those in those participating addendums. There's 3 options for participating. We always like option number 1, where a state will sign a participating addendum for the entire state. That means every legal eligible entity in that state can participate, and I mean public agencies. So all the state agencies, as well as cities and counties, local fire departments and police departments, and everybody would be able to participate under that participating addendum. There may be some times, though, where a state cannot sign a participating addendum for state use, but they don't have a problem if the political subdivisions utilize these agreements. In that case, they would sign option number 2, which is signing a PA that excludes state agencies but allows all the political subdivisions to participate. The last option is where a state does not sign a participating addendum, but the poly subs in that state still have an option to participate by executing their own participating addendum. If there are any political subdivisions out there viewing this today that wish to utilize these agreements and they know that the state has not signed a participating addendum, please reach out to NASPO Value Point and we will get in contact with the state chief procurement officer in your state on your behalf and ask them if they don't have any objections to you executing your own participating addendums. Entities are given approval on an individual basis. Sometimes we're able to get a blanket approval for certain commodities or services, but please reach out to us and we will contact the chief procurement officer in your state to get their approval on you executing your own PA. I'm not going to read this verbatim, but it's pretty much the state public entity negotiates directly with the contractor. We have model participating addendums located on the NASPO Value Point website. We ask that you start with that model participating addendum and then negotiate directly with the contractor. Neither NASPO Value Point nor Lisa gets involved in your negotiations, or do we approve your participating addendum. We are here to answer any questions. If you have a question about the participating addendum process itself, you can contact NASPO Value Point. If you need a clarification on a term or a condition contained in the master agreement, Lisa Bradley would be the person you would want to contact. Once you have negotiated that participating addendum with the contractor, you just need to send in that executed participating addendum in PDF form with both signatures from the contractor and the entity, and you can send that to our email address at pa@naspovaluepoint.org. Once we receive that executed participating addendum, we will log that participating addendum and then post it on the NASPO Value Point website. So the steps for opportunity 1 and 2 are exactly the same. It's where the state negotiates with the contractor. Opportunity number 3, this is where the political subdivision executes their own participating addendum. This is where you would first need to check in with the state CPO. So if you are an entity out there that wants to execute your own participating addendum, please send us an email first, and you can send it to pa@naspovaluepoint.org, or you can send it directly to myself, and my contact information is at the end. We will reach out to this chief procurement officer in your state and ask them if they have any objections or not. Once we receive confirmation back from this chief procurement officer with either a yes or a no, we will notify the political subdivision, and at that point, if the CPO has no objections, the political subdivision then would then just negotiate directly with the contractor and execute their own participating addendum, and then follow the normal processes of setting that participating addendum into pa@naspovaluepoint.org, and we would then again log it and post it on the NASPO Value Point website. We have this flow chart here that's on all of the portfolio pages. It's a great overview of just the steps involved of executing the participating addendum. As you can see here, we have 2 tracks. We have the track up here on top, that's for the states, and then we have the track here for the political subdivisions. And as you can see, they eventually marry up to this point right here. Here is where we contact the state chief procurement officer on your behalf for the political subdivisions to make sure they don't have any objections. State executed versus poly-sub executed PAs. Now this is really important. If a state has already executed a participating addendum in a state that allows for all political subdivisions to use, we ask that the political subdivisions do not execute their own participating addendum. Those political subdivisions are eligible to utilize those contracts under that state. So there's no need for a political subdivision to execute their own PA. Now, if for some reason the political subdivision needs to execute some sort of a contractual document, maybe against that participating addendum, please use something different than the participating addendum. If you have your own purchase order system or some other document, please use that. And also do not forward those into NASPA Value Point. We only want those executed participating addendums. However, this does not apply if the state has not chosen executed participating addendum. In that case, you may then use the participating addendum process. If you have any questions on this, feel free to reach out to NASPA Value Point, and we can certainly clarify the process for you. So things to remember: we do have the sample participating addendums located on the NASPA Value Point website. Under each master agreement portfolio, they're actually on the contractor's pages. It says model participating addendum there. Please start with that document, and it has the contractor's name and master agreement number already embedded in that document. We will maintain copies of all executed participating addendums in our repository, as well as on the NASPA Value Point website. The lead state and NASPA Value Point, we do not get involved in your negotiations or approve your participating addendums. We are here, though, as I mentioned earlier, to answer any questions you may have in the process. We ask that you only submit those completed and negotiated participating addendums with signatures from both parties to us. Sometimes we receive participating addendums that aren't fully executed or in the middle of negotiations. We don't want to mistakenly post those on the NASPA Value Point website when they're not fully executed yet. So please only send in those completed participating addendums to us and not ones that are in process. And you can just submit those into us in a PDF format. My contact information is here. thay@naspavaluepoint.org is my email address. Phone number is 503-428-5705. I'm here to help you out throughout the participating addendum process if you have any questions, or if not, I will get you in contact with any other individuals that may be able to answer your question better if I can't fully answer it for you. And Lisa's information was contained earlier in this presentation. She is also available to answer any questions or clarifications on the master agreements themselves. If you need an interpretation of terms and conditions, she would be the person to contact. Once again, I want to thank everybody for viewing today's webinar. As you know, we have a copy of this video located on the website, as well as a copy of the slide deck today is also located on our website. You may download and use those at your leisure. And once again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And with that, I'd like to wish everybody a great day, and thanks again for viewing.